Hello.
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 Hi, hi, hi.
Hey, Cheryl, Slim, Baka, Krista, Debbie. Cheryl. Uh, uh,
I was going to say, hey, me.
I don't know who it is. I'll hear it now. How's everybody? We ain't got too many people in here right now.
Let's see. Krista, Debbie, Cheryl. Smash that like, share this out. Speaking of which, I have not done that yet. Dang it, we was talking.
Call me a witch. No.
Huh?
Did you call me? You said witch.
No, I wasn't calling you a witch.
Did you?
I haven't got your notification yet. I have not been getting anybody's notifications.
You got to, I've learned that, like, if you check the bell, like, if you're going to do a premiere and you check that bell and your next video comes out, you got to go back and recheck it. It won't stay on. You got to click each and every visual that you want. That's the only ones I get. And I've got all my notifications on. Hey, Debbie.
How are y'all?
Hi, Debbie. Sorry you were not being able to say hello to me. I don't know why that was doing error. Try again.
We seen that message and we started laughing.
It don't like me.
Debbie's going to start walking, and she says she'll be here in 4 years to eat some tacos.
I ate a little bowl. Dang.
Hang on, I'm sharing. I'm sharing to the Twitter, or the X, should I say. I can't believe they changed that to X. That's so weird. Oh, I got to read this deal on here. Did y'all see on Twitter? James put a picture of one of Taylor Swift's concert tickets, and it is $3,240 for this ticket. He said, I'm sorry, but for $3,240, Taylor Swift better be giving me a lap dance and some change.
Oh, Lord.
I thought that was hilarious.
Amen.
Hi, Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
I just spammed everybody in Messenger.
Praying for you, Carrie.
Hi, Jan. Yes, Carrie, I saw that video. Oh, my goodness.
I seen Jan's thing the other day. I said, has she done changed hers again?
Yes, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Jan, what does the last part of your name mean? Istobes? It may be short for something, but I've been trying to figure that out.
I said, is 2 pounds.
Istobes?
That's the initials.
Oh, man. It has been a long day.
Hey, Carrie.
And she showed a video of somebody hitting her car the other day.
Yeah, that's twice somebody's going to hit her.
Girl, you having no luck. And I've been watching this big old controversy with Jason Aldean.
I caught some of that earlier.
Okay, have y'all heard that new song? It's like it's the Willie Nelson's On the Road Again, but the words have changed to I'm on the boat again. New song says I can't wait to get on the boat again.
I can't wait to get on the truck again.
So
Make
many
some money.
are sticking by Jason Aldean.
Yeah, because he didn't mean anything by it.
No, because not one time did he have any racial thing in there.
People can't get up. They can't get off their high horses anymore. It's ridiculous.
I'm against Jason Aldean. I don't like Jason Aldean.
Oh, shit. Anywho, because it is, a lot of it is true. I mean, he wasn't just showing one certain type of people. He was showing everybody. And it's true. You come to a small town, they all going to stick together. You know, it's just showing. I mean, so many people are, you know, on his side because rap music.
I'm not.
And it's the shut up,
He's a coward.
stop. They
Uh,
can, they
If
can
you
put
want some of me, you come down here to the state of North Carolina and get some of this.
Oh my Lord. He'll show you the nipple. Sandra just messaged and said, sorry, sis, I cannot be there tonight. I twisted my knee. I cannot walk. I have to keep my knee still. That is the third person I've heard. My Uncle Alton's wife, Lavon, she fell and broke her knee. Then my cousin Kim, the one that gave me all the haunted stuff, the lady that they take care of that lives with them, she fell and broke her knee. This is the third knee injury I've heard in the last 2 days.
Okay, no disrespect, Carrie, but I do not understand how you have ever been into a car wreck. Because you drive so fast, nobody can catch you to hit you. But
I
hope
seen
you're
that. I seen her dash cam
Yeah.
video.
That's a good thing you have
That was scary.
That's twice this year, though, ain't it, Carrie?
That's twice in the last couple of months,
Yeah.
I think.
I think Carrie just goes out and looks for people to hit. She gets mad just for the moment.
No, she does have lead foot because me and Twinkie both have rode with her, and
Yeah.
we held on to the old shit handle several times.
Yeah, we said a couple times in Vegas, if we had Carrie here, we'd get there in 5 minutes.
That's right. Carrie was our escape driver. She was good at getting us out of there with being undetected.
Yeah.
If we ever make it rich and famous, she's going to be our go-to driver.
We just had to dive in the back seat. Hey, Sean.
Hi, Sean. She said, I'm safe, though.
You might have scared the bejesus out of us a couple times, but we made it.
She's used to driving in that crap. I ain't.
Mm-mm.
That's just too many daggone cars for me.
Yeah. I learned 2 things in San Antonio, New Mexico, Las Vegas. One is, if you want to get there in a hurry, get in the car of Carrie. If you want to try to get there in a hurry, do not ask Eddie for directions.
Yeah, right.
You were such a link.
I
didn't
did.
know.
Sean, I would have sent you a link earlier, but I didn't know you was. I figured you'd be out trying to sneak up to Elvis's bedroom and
He's
get
in
that,
Nashville. We ain't in Memphis.
get that little secret thing I told you to get me.
The lady came off of the freeway and tried to cross 2 lanes to get to a restaurant. And she crossed the double white line too.
Wow.
I
Hey,
missed
Jan,
it.
you missed
Basically,
it.
YouTube will not give me my Jane's Lake journey. I have 4 more days to change my name. When I find out this, I will show me my Irish temper. Means I'm so tired of life. Of life's.
Well, I called her Janet. She said,
Oh,
No, don't call her
she's
Janet.
so tired of life's BS.
Oh,
I get it.
okay.
I wrote her, I said, hey, Janet. She said, Slim, we're family. You can call me Jan. So then I started calling her Jan. Then she started writing her name as Janet.
I know.
We sent you a link though, Sean. Just in case. I didn't know if y'all was romanticing up.
Romantical. She didn't know if y'all were being romantical.
Yeah, in Nashville.
I wonder how long it took them to find my daughter's bottle in Graceland in Elvis's house.
I don't know, but I was watching a documentary and there's a guy that does it. He's done been to Graceland I don't know how many times, and they've invited to Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner, and he goes to about so many tours a year. But they showed him the secret things, some of the secret things that they found at Graceland, and there was a baby bottle, a pacifier, of course, some jewelry. Um, there was a bunch of stuff and some fingernails. Somebody was clipping their fingernails or
Ew.
it was the fake. They was painted up, but they was peeling them off.
Yeah, breaking them up.
I guess they're trying to throw them in that room that was locked or something. I don't know.
It was raining the day we went. Of course, everything in there's white, basically. And they had plastic runners down on the floors, I guess, so you didn't get the carpet muddy. Well, I had my daughter's her stroller. She was 6 months old. And they said, you can't bring that in here. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It was an 1.5-hour tour. And so I had her diaper bag. I had her and her bottle. Well, somewhere along the line, she lost her bottle in Graceland. So I have no idea.
Okay, Melissa.
Love Melissa.
Love y'all, Melissa.
Update on Mom. She went in today and got her port put in.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried calling while she was in surgery, but their phone, they couldn't answer the phone in the area they were in or whatever. But so I called and left a message on their answering machine at home so they get it when they got home. And Mama called me on the way back from the hospital. She was there maybe 3 hours altogether. Yeah. And she said she wasn't hurting yet.
Yeah.
Still got the good stuff in the system. So she's doing pretty good. Y'all listen, I'm fixing to tell you once and only, you can't go back to the corner if you never leave.
You can't go back to the angel corner if you never leave. You ain't never been in the angel corner. You've been in the Krista's a bad girl corner.
Yeah. Krista's corner. Krista's chaos corner.
Yeah. The KCC.
KCC.
Oh crap. I just dropped my phone.
Lord, Twinkie.
Well, I have come to the conclusion, and it's so painful that I'm going to have to get another phone. I'm so sad.
Casey just went and got a 14.
I don't want one that far. I hope they'll let me still buy an 8S Plus because it's the closest thing to a 6S Plus that I can get. And my 6S Plus will not update no more, and it has no more memory. And every time I try to download anything, it says you have to have 15 point whatever to be able to download this. And I'm like, well, shite. So I do have to have certain things on my phone now, and I can't download them because my phone's not updated, and it won't update no more. So it has come to that time, and I'm very sad about it.
That's the only bad thing about iPhones is they force you into buying everything, and once you do get everything for that phone, then they force you to buy another phone.
They make them like every 3 months.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, oh, I got the new phone. Yeah, for like 3 months. And then you're not going to have the new phone no more because they're going to already have another one out. And then you're I'm still on a 6S Plus. I went up to an 8S Plus and I went back to a 6S Plus. And I was very content and happy with that. So hopefully the 8S Plus will still update and I can get that again.
But see, I tried to explain to Casey that that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Because I think we only owe like $100 some more on our phones and they're paid for. And because me and Slim have the 12 Pro Max.
Mm-hmm.
She went up there and they gave her $1,000 back on her phone, which we do take good care of our phones. Did they give her $1,000 back, saying she only has to pay $300 and some on this 14? But she said her payments on her phone aren't but $8 a month. I said, so they're going to hold on to you for two more years to get that $8 and something a month.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to keep paying bills.
I take good care of mine, Carrie, too, because it's like 10 years old and it's still fine.
Except it has no updates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last update it did was the 14.8, I think. I did that one like a couple of weeks ago, finally got it to go through. And then now all of it's saying 15 point whatever.
Now, I like on ours, it has that panoramic thing. I mean, I like that pretty good. But I still ain't figured that phone out, much less have to
Well,
get another one.
This one has the panoramic deal too on it, but the only thing that would make me even remotely want one of the newer ones, I saw that too, Vodka, is the cameras. Because all I do on my phone is text and play games. And use it for my ghost hunting stuff, which I've got downloaded onto 3 other phones too, so I'm good there. But I don't see the point.
And phones are over $1,000 some.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And there's nothing different than Casey's phone and our phone. Except
A little
it's a little bit
bigger.
longer.
Like all those, she's like, oh no, I gotta buy a new cow print cover. I guess, Mom, you can have mine. She buys the thinner cases.
Yeah, I like the thicker, bulkier cases.
See, I got the thicker one because I work, working on where concrete is. You drop it,
Yeah.
and she brought one of her cases over, and Michael switched it out for me. He switched it the next day because I took it to work and would sit it up on my desk and it would slide.
Yeah.
It's slick.
Yeah. I want to be able to feel it. I want it to be bulky. I took my case off my phone to clean it, and I was holding it, and I was like, oh, good Lord. I said, I'm so glad we have cases for these, because I could not. It feels so weird.
Oh, no, I'm missing the flip phones.
My dad.
That's what my daddy uses. My dad still. They have the razors back. I remember when the razors come out, that was like all the thing. Everybody wanted a razor.
Hey, Charmaine. I know Mom says Dad's got a problem now. His phone's not ringing. So when I go back up there, I got to try to figure out what's going on with his phone.
He's that little button.
And she's checked everything. Mom has checked everything. And
Yeah, Mum's got a flip phone. The brand Opal has brought out like a big button one. The buttons are a little bit bigger because Mum's eyes are dodgy as she's getting older. And it's quite basic, so it's nice and easy to use. And it's one that's even got like a SOS on the back.
Yeah.
So if you're in trouble, you can have phone numbers put in there and, it'll go to your contacts and things. But, Mum was spewing because she loved her flip phone as well. And she tried to go to a Samsung, one of her mates had, that she recommended. And she's the only person I know that got a Lemon as a phone.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's got a Samsung, and even she doesn't know what the heck was going on with Mum's phone. But it was so weird. And Mum rang me one night going, Sarah, how do I turn this thing off? It's asking for my Apple ID.
To turn off.
She's like, I can't, things kept popping up at her on the screen while it was just sitting there. And she's trying to get rid of them. And then she said, and I can't even turn it off. It won't let me. And then this thing came up saying, enter Apple ID. What's that? I'm like, Mum, you're on a Samsung. You shouldn't you shouldn't be asking for Apple ID. So that put her off getting up to date with technology. That was it. She's done.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that's it. I want to know if you girls can't work it out and you're telling me it's not normal. But no, that's it. I'm done. So, she was in the post office one day and they had this big button flip phone. So she got one of them.
Yeah, that's what my dad liked too. He actually has I think it's an Android though. And I can't use Androids to save my life, but his is a regular Android now. And he does that because of his games. He likes the games, and he likes to share funny jokes with us in Messenger. I get messages from him all the time with funny jokes and all that. So he's learning, but he still would prefer the flip phone.
Dad can't even remember his number because if he goes somewhere, if he's got to tell somebody his phone number, so she took the little thing, the ID tags that you can print stuff on.
Uh-huh.
She put it across the right underneath the screen, across from him. Up his phone number is right there.
Yeah, that's like a lot of people. I know my mom's number, my dad's number, Cody's,
I
Lainey's.
don't know Michael's number. I just go down to where it says Michael.
Yeah, because nobody has to remember phone numbers anymore because you don't have to actually type them in. You just go to their name and dial it. And
I can remember my phone numbers growing up.
yeah,
I can remember all them.
yeah.
But that's what annoys Mum when, like, her grandkids, my nieces and nephews, text her because they go, "Hi, Nan," da, 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 and there's no name. So
Yeah.
she's like, "Who?" Because she doesn't bother even doing the address thing in her flip phone. So she's like, "Who is this? Which
Who
one
is
of you is it?" It's so rude. Sign your name. And I'm like, "Mum, it's because, most of us have got the smartphone and we put it in." Well, I don't do that, and they should know.
Dad, if he gets aggravated or something, he'll say, "Oh, bull," and he's done with it.
Yeah.
I bought him and Mom both tablets for Christmas. Mom would get on hers. We set it up. She'd play her games and stuff, and Facebook and this, that, and the other. And they were coming back from a doctor's office, and Dad had grabbed it for Mom because her hands were full. Dad got right next to the door and dropped it on the concrete.
Oh no.
And his that I bought him, he never took it out of the box. And it's even got a station where you set it up on the station to charge it.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was up there, Mom pulled it. His dad says, "I don't use it, never used it. I want your mama to have it." So we had to set it up so she can get on it again.
Yeah, my mom and dad both have tablets too, and my dad, that tablet is basically glued to his hand. He is on that tablet 20 hours a day, I guarantee it.
Well, see, Mom had the knee surgery, so she couldn't get up, and
Mm-hmm.
she'd be on the couch or in the bed on hers because she couldn't get up to the computer, and Dad would be on the computer.
Yeah.
Dad would rather be on the computer than he would mess with. He said, "I don't understand that things."
Well, see, I understand that. I'd rather be on my desktop than anything.
Sorry, hang on, guys. I'll be back. Hang on. How do I mute? Oh, mute.
Mute on your StreamYard. There you go. But yeah, Dad, and bless his heart, with his jerking disorder, it's so hard for him to hold the tablet. I don't know how he does it. I do not know how he plays his games on there, but he manages.
There's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Well, tonight's topic is, why do spirits communicate? So, does anybody have any ideas why they may communicate?
I think mostly just because they want to, like, last minute. A lot of people pass away and they don't expect to pass away. So they have things they still need to or want to say to somebody. You got to realize most deaths are unexpected.
Yeah, and they still have unfinished business.
Right. I have a lot to say now. I can imagine what I'm going to want to say whenever I'm gone.
Well, that's the thing. Is it easier for them to speak, or is it easier for them to not, or is it easy for them to move stuff to communicate?
I don't know. That's a good question, because it would be like, depending on how much energy, and we don't know how much energy it takes to do one thing. So I think the verbal communication is easier for them, especially when there's like an app or something like that, like Necrophonics or Spirit Box. But the other stuff, I think that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, because, it would have to be able to move something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to take a lot more energy and concentration
I mean, look at Patrick Swayze, how long it took him to move that penny in Ghost. He tried really hard to move
Who's
that.
gonna bring up Patrick Swayze?
That would be me. Wouldn't be able to push the bottle.
Like I said, Beetlejuice. Look how long it took them to get the hang of really scaring the people in the house and being able
Yeah.
to move through walls. You know, took a
And
long
you know-
time.
See it. You see videos of people that have caught apparitions just going through walls like it's nothing.
Exactly. I'll be right back, Twinkie. I got to help with something.
Okay.
Well, the thing of it is if you're investigating and you ask, can you knock if you understand this, and you'll hear a knock. But on an app, you can sit there and ask the question, and sometimes they'll respond, but a lot of times you won't get that right away response from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
just
true.
wondered.
Well, like the other night when we were doing the Estes method, we told them to play with the, any of the gadget, and the ball kept going off, the cat ball.
It
Hey,
was.
Jonathan Ray, how are you?
Hi.
I wish we could figure it out more. I mean, to see more apparitions would be pretty cool, I think. But I don't think we'll all ever truly know everything it takes, unless we're there.
Yeah.
So I think it. And just like me and my mom were talking the other night, when she said, and when things come to you, or someone comes to you after they've passed on, my mom said that my grandmother, which is her mom, came to her. And she said she's seen her face. She said she had the prettiest smile on her face. And she said she believed that my grandmother was letting her know that she's okay.
Yeah.
And my mom said she went right back to sleep. And she says it was one of the best sleeps she had. So.
Well, it is. I think it's peace of mind sometimes when that happens. You can rest easy because they're resting easy and they've told you they're okay in whatever way they've come. So,
a lot of people say if they see something like that, that would probably scare them to death. But I guess it depends on who it was, or.
sorry, garbage man.
We couldn't hear it. Did he hit your house?
I think a big wind tunnel just happened.
Get our whole blind shut.
No. Oh my goodness.
Maybe it's the spirit trying to communicate.
I had the best dream Saturday.
Well, it was a bit freaky, wasn't it? I just get on and my light dies for no reason.
I love the
I don't
picture.
know. Yeah, see, I haven't seen much. I feel a lot, that sort of thing. But I know there is more because the couple of things I have seen. That one was a very negative one and from a lower realm. That was scary looking. And I actually, that, so to me, and that was when I was like 16, 17. So, I know there is good and bad out there for sure, and the other couple I've seen been very brief. There was one recently though, the one at the cemetery, that spun me out. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, I think for me, because I was I suppose brought up a bit around it from teenage years, it doesn't really surprise me as such. I mean, I probably would if I literally saw one pop up at me right in front of my face. But, yeah.
Night, Carrie.
Night, Carrie.
Not Carrie. Love you.
I mean, like the one that it was just weird, the one that picked up Michael's feet out of the bed. It just like picked his foot up. And he was asleep.
Well, the other night, I was
Hensley.
sitting there and I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or what, but I was sitting there talking to this little girl and I thought it was Kylie. And it was late at night. I mean, it was like early in the morning. April had fell asleep in there, or was in there in the living room watching TV or whatever. And I was sitting there talking to this little girl, and but she wasn't. She looked kind of like Kylie, and she sounded like Kylie, but she didn't act like Kylie.
Yeah.
And then April comes in and gets in the bed, and I rolled back over to see if that little girl was there, and she wasn't. So I thought I was just dreaming. So I rolled over and went to sleep.
I know, but for a fact, that night when we had our room in another room in the house, and I thought it was the kids sitting on the foot of our bed watching TV. I worked night shift then, so I was sleeping during the day, and I thought it was one of the kids sitting at the foot of the bed with the blanket over their head watching TV because the TV was down there. And I'm like, when the kids weren't even home, but it was sitting at the foot of my bed.
That would just be creepy as hell.
I remember that as plain as day. And, like the other night, Slim and I were laying in the bed watching TV, and it was just me, him, and the dogs here because Cameron was out of town on vacation. And I told him, I said, I just seen a black shadow go past my bedroom door. And he's like, oh, probably got a mouse in the house.
No, I didn't. I said I see that all the time.
Well, you said something about a mouse, too.
You was talking about the little black shadow, and I was telling Amy.
It wasn't a little black shadow.
I was telling Amy that I think that shadow that was at that girl's house, I think we brought it home with us.
Because it was about this big and about this tall. That's not a cat.
Mm-hmm.
But it went right past the bedroom door.
Sean, y'all have fun. Love y'all.
Be safe,
Sean,
Sean.
love you.
Yeah. Good night. Have fun. Sounds awesome.
Be romantical. How are you, Jonathan?
Hi, Jonathan.
But it is easier for a spirit to communicate to you when you're asleep than it is when you're awake.
I think that depends on who you are, not who they are. Because like my mom, she dreams about a lot of spirits, and she dreams about things that are going to happen and stuff. I dream about stuff, but Lainey sees it. So I think it depends on who we are and how our brain works with all that too. If it's easier.
That's a good point, I think. Yeah.
I think if you're more open-minded to it, it'll come easier.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Because people that don't believe in spirits, they can, what's that word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyway, they can say, oh, that was just the sun reflecting off something, or that was a car passing by or something like that. The reason why they say that is because they don't want to believe, because they know once they do believe, or they do actually say, okay, yeah, that's true, they can't take it back.
And they're liable to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, if you to me, that's a God-given gift.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shame not to use it.
Everyone in the world's empathic, because empath means just the energy and the feelings around you. Just like any of us could walk into a room full of angry people, you're going to leave that room angry. It doesn't matter if you were angry when you went in or not. But certain people have certain gifts, and I agree, Twinkie, that they're given to us. They're not. It's not something we just say, okay, I want to do this, so let me learn how to do it. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah, and if you're given that gift, that's something you need to keep working on.
Yeah.
To learn it better. I know people think some of the gifts that people do have, though, they're just plumb crazy. But you've got it for a reason.
Yep.
If you've got somebody that tells you something and it's like head on, I mean, it's on the dot and stuff like that. But then you got some of these people that dig for information before they talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like when I would do the reading or the uh, session, spirit box sessions. That's why I only told them I just want to know their name. I don't want to know what happened to them or anything. I just want to know their name because that's more validation for people. And I think the more validation you can, somebody can get, the more closure they get.
Exactly.
Well, we lived in this house. It was called Mill Hill Court, and it was like an old house. People that worked in the mills back then used to live in them. But I worked second shift, and I would sleep, and April would get up in the morning to go to work. And I would get woke up to hearing talking in the house. I mean, it was like somebody was in the living room. And I was like, what are they doing home? And I thought I overslept for work. I'd jump up and I'd go look through the whole house, wouldn't nobody be there. And it would be like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I'd go lay back down. And you could hear, I don't know if April ever heard this or not, but you could hear like the room would go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, it's like I don't know, it's weird. I'm so glad we left that house. I didn't like that house.
Kind of sounds like it might have had a portal in it.
Well, I don't know. It was like the room, like you hear like the energy, like at
Yeah.
The tower beside your house, you can hear it. And that's the way it was sounding inside the house.
Yeah, and that's to me, I feel like you can sense when portals are around because it does have stuff like that. And like I've always explained it, the portals that I see, it looks like I'm looking through, like when you have a campfire or a bonfire and up above it, there's like that glaze where you can see through it, but you can still see it.
Yeah, like a hazy.
Yeah, like really hazy, but it's like a clear. It's so hard to explain, but I'm sure anybody that's looked above a fire knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I see whenever I see a portal. But I guarantee you hearing that energy, because that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Is maybe a portal.
Well, a friend of mine lived behind us, and we lived in a trailer. And when Cameron was born, so I was wanting to move in a house. So the landlord had a house coming open. They was remodeling and offered it to us. So I told my friend, so we're moving in y'all's old house. And he said, you don't want to move in that house. And I said, what do you mean? He said, man, that house is haunted. And I thought, that house ain't haunted. Well, the other friend that lived in it, when he moved out, another friend moved in the house. And he wasn't never there. His girlfriend was there, but he was always gone. And I asked us when they moved to another place, I asked us, why didn't you ever stay there? He said, man, Mike and Teddy been in some dark situations. And he said, that place is haunted, man. He said, I did not like staying in a house by myself. Wow. And his girlfriend said, yeah, that house is haunted. Have you not seen anything? And I said, no. And then it went long, which we went there, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
No, we stayed there a couple months.
Couple months, well. And I don't know, I guess about 2 weeks. That's when everything started in that house. But, like me, I didn't believe in that stuff, so I didn't know how to take it. But, yeah, that place definitely was kind of creepy. I like being there by myself.
And that's like Mom and Dad's house they live in now. Mom and Dad both have seen stuff, and I've always had an eerie feeling going down the steps.
Yeah.
To go downstairs because when you go down the steps, it's a wall and you have to go left or right, and then you have to make another left because steps go almost out to the front door, and then you have to go around. But you come down them steps, and it always felt like somebody was watching you. So I would always try to hurry.
Yeah.
But Mom says she's seen shadows. And my dad said, well, he was just telling me recently that he was sitting here. My dad gets up every morning and reads so many chapters out of the Bible every single morning. And he said that he was reading, and he said he swore somebody walked in front of him.
I told them when the first time I went to that house, there was something there.
See, the woman that they bought the house from, her son lived there a little bit, and then he moved to Florida. Well, while he was in Florida, so he lived there for a little while and come back and visit. So, well, he committed suicide.
Mhm.
And I said, you never know. He could be, that's the place he could come back to visit. Hey, Patty.
They would go to bed so early, and I'm not type to go to bed early. So I would lay in there and look at my phone or something half the night. So the next day, I'll get up early in the morning, but I would get sleepy. So I said, well, I'm gonna go up there and take a nap. And I would go up there to the bedroom and lay across the bed. And it was like I had this feeling that something was watching me every time, to the point that it bothered me so bad that I'd get up and go back downstairs. And when I'd walk down those stairs, I'd always look behind me to make sure there was nothing behind me, because you had that feeling. But once you got to the bottom of the stairs, that feeling went away.
Yeah.
That's such a creepy feeling, though. That one where you're being watched. Yeah. Had that a few times in my life, and it always creeps you out. You know, whether you think it's a person or a non-person, it always creeps you
Especially
out.
on the staircase.
I wonder too, because they remodeled the house.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like change.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
And Mom said she's been downstairs, and Dad would be out in the garden. And it's only Mom and Dad. They have a 4-bedroom house. Upstairs, 4 bedrooms upstairs, and then the big, humongous downstairs. And she said she would be in the kitchen, like washing dishes, and she could hear footsteps upstairs, and nobody was there.
That's what I was going to say. I would get woke up to hear the door slam or shut, and I would wake up and I would go up at the door and look down there, and the lights would be out. They have a night light at the plugged up, so you could see if you walk to the bathroom or something. And I looked down through there and you couldn't see nothing, or I'd go up there and take a nap or something, and I would hear people walking and like a door shut, and I'd get up thinking somebody was up there. So I'd go in the bathroom to make sure one of the kids up there messing, and there would be nobody up there with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty cool house. It's pretty big and stuff. I don't talk to Dad a lot about it. Dad's the one that told me about where he woke up and that thing was standing in front of him while he was in the bed. And my dad don't talk about stuff like that, and then he just come out and said it. But my dad has a gift too. He's a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
He dreamed about my cousin. He said he couldn't see their face, but when next morning we got a phone call, my cousin was murdered. But my dad, before we even knew he was murdered, Dad explained what had happened in detail. And when my dad's sister called and said my cousin was murdered, it was the exact same details. Shot 3 times in the chest, but he still couldn't see their face. And my cousin was shot 3 times in the chest. So I mean, it's weird stuff. But I don't talk to him. Me and Mom talk more about it than he does. It's some creepy place.
That's a weird feeling to dream about something that happened.
Because he dreams about stuff too.
Did your dad know it was your cousin, even though he couldn't see a face?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, because like my mom, when she dreams, she can see the faces and stuff. But like when my cousin Cody died, my cousin Cody and my cousin Laura both were in the vehicle. but in her dream, my cousin Laura died. But we found out later on that Cody had rode in the back seat on the way up there, and he was supposed to be in the front seat on the way back. But right at the last minute, he was tired and decided he wanted to lay down in the back seat and go to sleep. So Laura stayed in the front seat. So in Mom's dream, it was supposed to have been Laura who died. But because at that last moment they traded places, it was Cody that died. And that was just creepy, especially finding that out later on.
Yeah. And and Dad explained it, when he said the guy, he knew it was a guy. But like I said, he said he couldn't see their face. And he said he was walking back to his car. And his car was parked next to a dumpster at the bar. And he said right before he got to his car is when he got shot. And Dad said it was next to a dumpster. And his car was parked next to a dumpster. And he was shot right next to the dumpster in his car.
No.
Well, my dreams, I could be dreaming about something totally different than, or a whole different thing. And then the people that I have dreamed about that said, hey, and then I woke up the next day and found out they got killed. It's like I could be dreaming about me standing on the moon. And all of a sudden, they'll just pop in my dream and say, hey, Michael. And I'm like, and it throws me off in my dream. I'm like, what am I dreaming about this person for? It ain't got nothing to do with the dream that I was dreaming about. But they just pop in. And then every time I wake up.
But you also had stated that you have like just been awake and they just popped in your head, like just out of nowhere.
My friend had just passed. I was sitting there watching TV the other day, and he just popped in my head and said, hey, are we still going fishing? And I didn't think no more about it, And then it was a few days later, and I found out about it, that he had died. Because we had just seen him at Food Line a couple of days before that.
Yeah.
And then for somebody to turn around the very next day after he had wrecked, the very next day to hit the telephone pole and die too, the very next day.
Well, this road is called Amity Hill.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, that's the name of the road.
There's Amity Hill and there's Oswald Amity Hill. But they crossed or joined together. But there's been so many people that's died in vehicle wrecks on that road.
Maybe they need to rename that hill.
Yeah.
And before we even knew he had died, me and Michael went down that road to go visit his friend Jody's mom. We went down that road.
That's right by where he got killed.
He had never even knew.
Yeah.
We left there and I come home and happened to get on Facebook, and his brother had posted on Facebook, to tell everybody what was going on. And I said, wait, what? And I went back and I watched it again. And I said, there's no way, because I had just talked to him about going fishing.
And it's just so eerily creepy how it happened. Like, that's just, that don't happen. Like, that was crazy.
Well, I mean, he was young when this happened the first time, and it messed him up for years. You didn't hear that from him. And but he got where he could get back up on his feet, and when he walked, you could tell that he was still paralyzed in one leg or something. Right. But he got where he started playing the banjo again, and he would play like music and stuff at places. And I was like, well, man, he's doing pretty good. And then a few years later, he was in a wheelchair out there wanting to fish, and he said he'd like to fish and talked me into staying with him to help him fish. And then I mean, I miss seeing. It's weird because I haven't seen him in a long time. And then the
Hey, Mr. Rogers.
last month or two, it's like every time I go out to Troutman, I see him.
Yeah.
And that day, the day me and April seen him at the store, he asked me to reach and get him some ice cream, and I did. And he was, when we walked away, I stopped and turned back. And I don't know why I did this, but for some reason I turned and looked at him. It was like, this might be the last time I see this man. And he started talking to some other people, so I walked on, and that happened.
Yeah.
But he was talking about an anniversary and riding a motorcycle down there to see, where he, wrecked so many years ago. And I'm like, riding a motorcycle, you're in a wheelchair, man. How you gonna ride a motorcycle? But I didn't say that to him. And I know that he had to take strong pain medicine to deal with his pain to be able to survive during the day, And I thought, well, maybe he's just just took his medicine or something because he was talking crazy. And then to come to find out that he did ride, well, it wasn't a motorcycle, it was a moped. One of them souped up mopeds that looked like a small cross rocket bike.
Yeah.
That did 90 miles an hour, And
To wreck in the same spot you wrecked 30 some years before that. That's weird.
Yeah.
But he hit a telephone pole that time and landed beside of it. He hit a telephone pole with the bike and threw him through the yard 200 feet, and he hit a tree. This time he hit the tree that he landed beside. Missed the telephone pole, but hit the tree.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Rogers. Hi, Batty. Hi, Candy.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you, Chris. But that's like, I want to find out more about this place. I want to see if you can go to the, next to the courthouse and find out any information about this house.
Do y'all have a historical society there?
Yeah, we have one somewhere.
That's where you go.
Hey, Miss Rogers.
To find out, because, we were always told that the people that built it died 2 weeks after they built it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if they, if they died here or were they in a hospital or
Why they died.
Yeah. Because we get ready to hit 100 years at this. On this house. So.
I mean, a lot of it's kind of hard to especially if they died together. You would think it may be a car wreck or something like that. But you really want to know if something happened where they did die there on the property or something like that. Because back then you didn't have to disclose all that.
Yeah.
Only up until recently do you have to disclose. It's a law now. You have to disclose if you believe that your house is haunted.
I definitely believe there's stuff here.
Oh, I know there's stuff there, and I don't even live there.
The old man that we've seen, I've seen him, April's seen him, the kids seen him. I thought he was like one of the neighbors that live up at the top of the road there. I thought it was like somebody that lived in one of them houses. And I talked to the neighbors and was asking them, who the man was. And they said, nah, there's no. And then the woman that lives right up here was telling me, she said, you're talking about such and such. And she said that, yes, that they built that house and that he used to live there, but he's been dead for years now.
And it was somebody from way back when because they dressed like my grandpa dressed. It had the gray trousers, and always had a long sleeve shirt on. You didn't see him with a short sleeve.
Yeah.
And, they have the suspenders and that old hat.
Yeah.
And that's the man I seen walk across it.
he would. She said the lady said yes. Said that they bought the land and sold some of the land to the people up here. And when they put their fence up, he would walk that fence line to make sure that they wouldn't own his property. And every time we've seen him, well, when I seen him, he was over on this side of the field standing in the woods. And I've seen him walking up the fence line too. And I'd walk outside and I said, "Can I help you?" But he would never stop and talk to me. So I figured, older people like that are set in their ways,
But when I seen him, I said, "Can I help you?" Because I was wondering why was he walking the fence line over on my side. And he would actually look at you, but not say a word. And just turn around and just keep walking. And then when I seen him vanish into thin air, when he got to the thickest part of the trees, I was like, "Dad, what no human? That was something else."
Well, the lady that lived up here, when we first moved here, she'd come down here with some like cake and bread.
Welcome committee.
And come to find out, she helped lead my dad to Christ. And she pulled out this Bible, and I went and got his Bible, and her name was in his Bible. So I would go up there, if she needed something, I'd go help her or something. And I asked her, and she said she didn't know who I was talking about. And then she called me a couple of days later and told me, said, "Mike," she said, "I got to thinking about what you said." And she told me next time I was up there, she wanted to show me a picture. And sure enough, the guy in the picture had the same clothes on that he walks around here in. And she said, she told me who he was. And she said, but he's been dead for, I don't know, 10, 15 years or longer. And that's when we first moved in here, So.
And see that barn, the barn that's down here, it's really, really, really old. They built that barn and stuff.
Yeah.
And I took Twinkie to that barn.
Yeah.
It's creepy. But it's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd certainly be interesting to learn all the history to do with your place there, sis, and the land and everything. See what information you could find. It sounds very, very active.
Twinkie wants to see her little man.
Hey,
Hi, Jen and boys. Love y'all.
Hey, love y'all boys. Love you, Eddie and Jen.
I have a question for everyone on the panel. Has anyone talked to a spirit that made them feel emotional, or do you feel them? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mine's more feeling, but yes, there have been a few that, were very emotional. One I actually had, and it was more angst than anything else. But that was because he was stuck. He thought his wife would have waited for him, but she'd already moved on. He watched her pass in the house I was renting, and he'd looked after her while she was unwell, and she moved on. But when he passed, he stayed at the house, and from what I could gather, he thought she would wait for him, and she'd already gone. So I got my mum to come around and help him move on, because he used to freak everyone out. As a cold area in what we used as the lounge room. It was a very old-fashioned house where you've got your fireplace in every room, good 100 years old. And but there was one cold patch in the room we used as the lounge room, and I managed to find out eventually that was his rocking chair, and he used to sit and watch his wife when she was unwell, and that was their bedroom. So he used to freak everyone out. No one could sit there without freezing. Absolutely freezing. Didn't matter how much clothing you had on, and it was just like cold air.
Mm-hmm.
But it would follow me after a week or two. It followed me to bed every night, and wherever I was in the house, right there, always next to me. And I thought, yeah, okay, got mum to come in and help him pass over. So For me, it's feel more than anything. And he was very cold. I knew when he was around because it was just so cold next to me all the time. And I knew when he was somewhere else because then someone else would get cold. So he knew where he was in the house all the time.
Mine was Heather.
Yours was Heather.
Yeah, for Heather's Bridge.
Yeah.
Especially when she begs for her mom or begs us not to leave. Yeah. Says she's alone. That you get very emotional.
And that's one reason too. I you can ask Twinkie because a lot of times when we would be doing things, I would always have a candle sitting, and I would end up like zoning out and staring at a candle, and I could start talking about different stuff. And Amy says she believes. What is it you said? You believe that that's one of the gifts I got that
Yeah.
I need to learn more about.
Yeah.
But it's weird.
It's a candle scribe, basically. She sees images and stuff while staring into the candle. And that's a very, it's not a common gift, but it a lot of people have it, but not a lot of people use it. And so I think she really needs to hone in on it and, start doing it more because she's good at it.
It's certainly not one of the more common ones you see people do.
Right,
That's for
exactly.
And I always, I'm afraid because you don't do it on purpose and like zone people, but I don't want people thinking I'm ignoring them because I'm not ignoring them. It's just,
But you can't really worry about that either because, like, a lot of people understand, especially when you're talking to spirits. A lot of times you really need to concentrate, and that's why a lot of people won't do, like, anytime we do big investigations with a lot of people or whatever. I always tell people this is just going to be more like an explorer and more telling about the place because you really can't get a good investigation with a lot of people because you can't concentrate, you can't, and there's just too much going on. So when you're doing something like that, people need to understand that you're doing it to get information, but you have to concentrate. So it's not like you're ignoring them. You're
in the zone. It's like Estes in a way.
Yeah.
Where you're literally, your senses, you're honed in on that flame and what messages that it's giving you, rather than just zoning everyone out and ignoring people. You're not doing that. You're actually communicating. It is a form of communication. So, yeah, I think as long as especially if you film it, just make sure people are aware right at the beginning, that you got to concentrate, and you can have us around and we'll remind people when they come in.
So I thought it was weird the other night when we did the Estes method and y'all seen the little girl spirit behind me.
mm-hmm.
So I took a screenshot of that and I showed it to Lainey and my mom. I didn't say anything about it. I saw a little girl. When my mom saw it, she saw an old woman. When Lainey saw it, she saw a creature.
Wow.
Same picture. We all three saw something different.
I seen it as soon as we started, talking and stuff. Because it was, I didn't see it at the beginning. And then when you started doing the Estes method, that's when I started seeing.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to shut down, y'all.
Why?
Uh,
It's getting hot.
yeah.
Well, Twinkie shouldn't be so sexy, Twinkie.
That's it.
I'm back there in the corner, and that fan's just not helping. You got to do
You
something.
disagree with me, Slim. I tried to help you out there a little bit.
That's it.
Who knows better than to disagree?
We love y'all, and see y'all later.
You
Love
gonna
you, Slim. Take care, brother.
just leave yours on?
Oh.
Leave it on.
Yeah, so I don't have to switch everything.
All you gotta do is unmute.
Okay, Slim.
Bye, y'all.
Nah, I love you.
Dear Renee.
Yes.
Love you, dear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Unmute your
Can
speaker.
you hear y'all?
Unmute your speaker.
I guess because I need to tell you told me I only had to do one thing. Well,
You have to unmute your speaker too.
you told me I only had to do one thing. But Twinkie, that's like what you said your family seen at the foot of the bed that one time. Stuff like that.
Do what?
You know where you were saying your family seen that at the foot of their bed that one time?
My grandmother saw the devil at the end of her bed.
You know that had to freak her out.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't have freaked her out as much if there wouldn't have been burn marks in the wood floor at the end of her bed.
Yeah, now see that's wild, sis.
Yeah.
That I mean, as I said, that thing I saw above my partner at the time's head. You know, there's nothing in this world more that really convinces you there is good and bad than seeing something, especially when you don't normally see. You know, but seeing that and being a grandmother.
Yeah, well,
You know,
she was a lot younger whenever this happened. She was younger. She was in bed and she was still living with her parents. But it really makes me question a lot because, you know, she was such a Christian woman. She was in church every time them doors were open. But then I find out a few weeks ago that she did the Ouija board.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. There's always a bit of a known sometimes, isn't there? You know, they don't tell
All
us
the way up
everything.
into her 80s, she was doing the Ouija board. And I was I'm still in shock over it. Like I never would have thought that with her at all.
See, he was probably testing her because she is. So
I'm just wondering if maybe that's why she did the Ouija board, was to try to figure out what it was that she saw when she was young.
could have been.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me either, Eddie. I'd love to do Esther's one day. It really does intrigue me.
Yeah, the assessment, there's nothing like it. I'm telling you right now. And you know, that's why we do a lot of the pair games, is to cut off some of your senses. Once you're blindfolded and you have the headphones on and it feels like you're inside the spirit box. Like you literally, you zone out. You are in the spirit box. That's why we have to have people there to kind of get you out of it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Even when you have your block?
If you put your alarm on when you're doing it, will you hear it?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Through your phone, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know even when I put the blindfold on, I still close my eyes.
Yeah, I think we all do that. I think it's just the automatic.
You know, some people say that they don't close their eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, see, to me that would just be weird. Like, why would you? Have your eyes open, but you've got a thing on them. You know?
Yeah, and your eyelashes like touch. I can't stand that feeling.
Yeah. So I was thinking, no, why would you do that? I couldn't do that, I don't think.
It's like it had been so long since I did the Estes method. I told Slim, I said, I need to charge my speaker. And he's like, what for? I said, see, it's been so long.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the feeling of it. It's like no other. Once you do it, you'll be addicted to it, though.
You've never done it?
No. Because I'm on my own here most of the time, except for daughter occasionally, of course. But yeah, so I thought, well, I'll either have to put an alarm on or I'll have to rig daughter up to actually keep an eye on the time. And come pull me out of it because I could get.
But a lot of times when you get into it and you start getting good information and stuff, even if your time runs out, you don't want to leave yet.
Yeah, I've seen that actually in many videos.
It's hard to not come out of it. But then sometimes you're like, oh hell no, I'm done.
Yeah,
seen that quite a few times too, actually.
Debbie done the last time. She said, "I'm done."
Yeah, I'd had enough. That I know my limits, and
well,
a lot of people don't. And so when they start doing stuff like the Estes method, or it can really mess with their head.
Yeah.
But a lot of my favorite ones are the ones where you you get to help somebody move on.
Hmm.
And when it breaks my heart when it has something to do with kids.
Yeah.
But it gives you a big sense of relief when you help them move on.
Yeah.
I know there's got to be other things that people do that we haven't even seen yet. That how they do things, and we'd be like, oh, we need to try that.
Yeah.
I want to get some dowsing rods.
See, the dowsing rods aren't my thing, but I think you would really be good at it.
I'm intrigued by them as well, I must say.
I love them. I think they're awesome. I love watching Sandra do them. But I've tried them and they just don't work for me. And I don't think they're meant to work for everybody. I don't think everything is meant for everyone. I think certain people are going to be better at certain things. And just like Lainey, she loves the dowsing rod. She tried them and she shakes so bad that you can't tell if it's a spirit or if it's her hands moving. So
because she's literally a conduit herself. So if she adds something,
all too much energy.
Magnifies.
But I think Twinkie with some of her gifts apply to the calming, the actually making herself calm and getting into the zone. So I think she would be great at it.
Thank you, Bruce. Look, honestly, there's been so many. Have you seen? Now I can't remember which channel it was. Oh, dang it! It was a pencil type thing, and they use it for the scrying thing, like the blind writing. But it's this special, the pencil thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bit interesting. I don't know about that one. I think you have to have the right gifts for that one to be very useful to me. What I saw was a little bit. I was a bit sort of I don't know. I think
auto writing. She's done it before, and me and her both have tried it. But Lainey actually got hers to go through, and I sat and watched her. There was no extra movement of her hand or nothing, and words were coming up. And with mine, it was just a bunch of circles. It wasn't for me either.
Yeah, because I've seen the automatic writing where it's just you get a pen and paper, but this one was like I think it was in like a Ouija board thing type.
Yeah, no.
They put their hand on it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No,
I'm like, no, I think you would have to be very in tune.
Yeah,
for that to work very well, sort of thing. So I really wasn't sort of sold on that one myself.
Right.
But, see, that's like I keep getting this thing in my head that I want to try it, but I've never tried it yet. Where you put a blindfold on and visualize something in your mind and try to draw it on paper.
Oh, yeah.
And I've thought about it, but I've never tried
it. Tinder.
Hey, Big Tinder. I think it would be pretty neat. And I could imagine something what would turn out to be on paper, though.
Well, there's going to be a lot of crazy experiments this year on parrot games. So
awesome. I'll have to try and last as long as
that's not going to be one of them, Twinkie. But you really want to. Where everyone's doing the same thing now. Everyone's doing the same exact thing. So I really want to get out of the same old and try new things. But I've been doing experiments, different types of experiments for a long time, and I love sharing them with everybody, as y'all can see. So I think the more experimenting we do, maybe it'll help come up with something that will work really well for spirits. We're not just doing it for us. We're trying to help the spirits communicate with us better. So anything that we can do to kind of help that. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of experimenting this year.
Cool.
The only thing that I will never do, well, a couple things. I'm not touching the Ouija board.
No, that'll never.
Another thing is where I see a lot of people doing it is they invite the spirit to come into them.
No,
That ain't happening.
that will never
No.
be a challenge, so you don't have to worry about that. You're good, Slim. Love you.
All good. All good.
We know you were up here with all of us hot women, and it got a little too steamy in there for you, and you had to just leave the room. We understand completely.
Yeah. We love you, brother. It's all good.
Don't make it hit.
But the little round board with you seen the little ones that go with the crystal?
Yeah.
And it's just the yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, see, I'll do that.
I thought that looked a bit intriguing, actually. I like the little board that they've got. Yeah, the new one. Because I've seen it recently.
And
And with the pendulum.
spirit board.
Yeah.
You know, and I have so many people ask me all the time. And I got asked this in an interview I did the other day, which I think is coming out next Sunday, I think. Anyway, I got asked why I'll do the spirit box and all that other stuff, but I won't do the Ouija board because it's the same thing. Yes, basically it is the same thing, but I feel more control
Exactly.
over the spirit box and all that. I feel like I have zero control when it comes to a Ouija board. And that's based on my personal experiences. I have not had a very bad experience with the spirit box or the apps that I use. Hi, Adam. Love you, bunches.
Hi, Adam. Love you.
So there may not be a huge difference between a Ouija board and spirit box and all that. But in my case,
Look,
I feel more control over certain things than I do others. And so that's why I can say I will not do this, but I will do this.
yeah. Well, look, I've got to say, I know it's going to sound probably a bit weird because, there's Dowsing Roger Holt, them and everything else. But to me, the Ouija board forms a possible, more deeper physical connection to spirits than anything else.
Right.
And that's when you open yourself up for more of an attachment issue
Exactly.
and opening up the realm for them to be able to come through easier. I've seen too much real chaos after a Ouija board through mum's mates and other friends and things, and my own one experience. And I very much believe, look, I wouldn't particularly do it myself. I don't have an issue with anyone that uses it as long as they know what they're doing. More power to them. If they want to use that, that's fine. I got no problem. I wouldn't personally use it because I think it's actually, and the thing is that still annoys me, it's sold as a toy.
Right.
And like all the apps, they have to put in the fact that it's an entertainment thing. So, of course, people doubt them.
Well, y'all have heard me say on my app deals over and over again. I'm not even going to get into the age thing because that annoys the crap out of me when it says it's for 4 years old and older.
Exactly.
No, it should not be.
No, it should be at least 16 and up, 18 preferably. Because unless you've been brought up around it,
right,
and you know what you're doing, or at least have some understanding of the risk you're taking, there's no way any of it should be advertised.
But so many people get on there and they don't know how to close it.
Oh, that drives me nuts. Look, I get it. You've freaked out because something's actually, you've had a proper real response. It's not a mate moving it. It's not you, I get it. You freak out a bit your first time, your first few times maybe. But not ending it is just, you are so asking for trouble,
No, I'm
know?
not saying people are stupid, but you're stupid. When you don't close stuff out, that's you're asking for nothing but trouble.
And then you wonder why you start having a few issues. I mean, learn things, look into. Now, what is it? Who is it? There's a younger one that I watch and she reacts to things. Do your research, she says. And exactly, do your research, people, And
but I could research that till I'm blue in the face and I'm still not going to mess with it no more.
Well, exactly. And that's because you've got some sensibility there, sis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very much. I think that is one of probably the easiest ways to get an attachment because you're physically using something. Now, I know that sounds weird because, we do, we've got dowsing rods and all that. But for some reason, it just works better to me, the Ouija board, if they want to attach. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to do it, I mean, more power. That's all.
I just won't be around
Yeah, I don't want to.
because I choose not to be. But I'm fixing to have to go get Twinkie.
I'll get ready to
I
get off.
just have to go get Lainey Twinkie. But from now on, I think my answer to the whole question about why would you do a spirit box and not the Ouija board is just going to be because I don't want to.
Yep.
Because I don't want to use the Ouija board. That's plain and simple.
But we're gonna go ahead and get ready and get off of here because I had a long day today at work. Twinkie, what do you got going on?
So I am busting butt this week because we're supposed to be fixing to go back out on the truck. So I'm trying to get as much filmed as possible and done as possible. I have an app review coming. I have little Miss Gertrude making an appearance. She went Bigfoot hunting. I've got an episode of Heather's Bridge that I revamped kind of and we're putting back up. And let's see, I've got some shorts that I've been working on. And our live stream Thursday night, we're going to be discussing why spirits attack. And so that should be a good, interesting live stream. And then other than that, I'm trying to just get as much done as I can before we do head out.
What about you, Baka?
I'm going to try and get up a hump day video and, well, I'm going to try. I'm going to have to look into my program I've been using and see why it's been playing up on me because, yeah, as I said, I tried last week and everything I felt it was cut off and it was patchy. I don't know what the hell's going on. I may have to uninstall and reinstall or something. So just keep your eyes out.
Yay. Love you, Adam.
Love you too. So everybody, thank you so. Everybody have a awesome night. Thank you for being here. We love you in pieces. Make sure you tell the people closest to you how much you love them.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you again soon.
Love
Peace and
you,
love, everybody.
Love you.
Love y'all. Thank y'all for being